everybody. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope the game turned out the way you wanted it. I'm back today for another debt-free journey video. So last week I just generally talked about why I got into the debt-free process, that I used the Dave Ramsey baby steps, and a couple of tips, kind of generalized tips on how I did that. So I am back to tell you a little bit more in detail about how I did it. And if I'm a ENTP type personality, I want to know details. You got debt free, you did it quick. How did you do it? So I'm here to tell you the 10 things, and they're really only the 10 things that we did. So the very first thing that we did was we did a budget. So at the beginning of the year is when I started my debt-free journey. I didn't make my very first payment until the 22nd of January because I was doing the budget process. I was hem-hawing around it and I was starting to implement things, and I was starting to try to build up that baby step one, right? That savings, that emergency funding of $1,000. So like I said last week, I spent 79% of my income to my debt. And only 22% of that was my mortgage payment, by the way. So doing a budget matters. It's not just about throwing big chunks of money towards your debt. So the number one thing that we did was we got a budget. And I will tell you, the more we got into it, the more we started to tighten it up. So the second thing we did in our debt-free journey is we stopped charging and stopped shopping. So I literally took my credit card out of my wallet, put it in my desk, filed away. Then I took that number off of my Amazon account, off of my Samsung Pay and my Android wallet. And I took that number off everywhere so I couldn't randomly say, I want to do this. Let's just put that on that credit card. Throughout my debt-free process in the last year, before I paid off my credit card, I spent $2,342.37 on interest. That's BS. That is BS. I spent less money on my trip to Aruba. And you know what? I don't care if you pay off your credit card bill every month. Those points aren't worth it. You're going to use, I don't know, just credit cards are not worth it. So I chucked that away. And what that did is it made me focus on what my real income was. I couldn't use the fake money anymore, so it forced me to live within my means. And it was very revolutionary for me. And even today. So I stopped watching QVC, I stopped randomly buying stuff at the grocery store or when I was out and about. Which brings me to the third thing I did is I cut out wasteful spending. And I want to talk here about subscriptions specifically, but I stopped shopping on Amazon Prime. I cut out my Amazon Prime subscription. I let it go off into the ether. And I will tell you, 2 years later, I don't miss it. And I don't even know the crap I was buying. I thought my life was going to end too. I was on night shift, so the $20, $40, $200 of stuff I was buying at 3 a.m., I don't even know. 2 years later, I don't even know what I was buying. And I used it for like dog food and monthly stuff that I was getting. But I can tell you 2 years later, I don't go without. I don't go without in my pantry. My dogs don't go without, and I don't have Amazon Prime. I cut it out, and that was just such an easy way to just spend money. Just spend money. And I did. I spent money, a lot of money on Amazon Prime. So I cut it out. I also had a gym membership. I was paying $70 a month too. In 15 months, I hadn't even been there, but still paying that. And there was a couple of, like health and beauty things, subscriptions that I had that were like $9.95 a month. I got those out. Another thing is that we cut out Netflix. We didn't do it, like we started our process in January and we didn't cut it out until April because Daredevil was coming out in March, I think. Anyway, but that's the thing is that for us, Netflix, this is another like, oh God, type of thing you're going to say. But to be honest, like Netflix isn't like the most amazing thing in the world. And you can binge watch only a couple of times before you're like, there ain't nothing else to watch. And there's nothing to watch for another month or 3 months. You know what I mean? So, because like a lot of times the good stuff only comes out like every quarter. So I don't know. That's just my process. So we got rid of Netflix. Let's see. Number 4 is we stopped going to the movies. Oh, my dad lives with me, so he doesn't go out of the house very often, but us going to the movies every other weekend was like really big. It was really important for me to get him out, and it was morale and blah. So, but we were spending like $68 and change a pop every time we went because the tickets plus the drinks and chips and all the stuff that we bought. So what we did is it was still important to have that kind of movie night, but what we did is we kept it at home, and we would either watch online or we would buy a movie. And that's what I try to do at least one weekend a month is buy a brand new movie that we would have normally seen at the movie theater. And we get them for $12 off of our TV app. So $12 isn't breaking the bank, and doing that once a month is fine. Number 5. We used apps and coupons to save on groceries, household, and personal items. This was one of the biggest budget breakthroughs that we had. First of all, I was getting paid about $40 a month to use Ibotta, and there's another app. Oh, again. We were using apps. I was getting money back, and then I was using couponing. And I will tell you, in the beginning, I was using couponing based on what our meal plans were, but then I started meal planning around our couponing, and it was revolutionary. We went from spending hundreds of dollars every like 10 days to then there's my two adults, 2 dogs. And we went from spending hundreds of dollars every 10 days to about anywhere from 50 to 150 every 2 weeks. So it was amazing. I don't know what we were buying, but we were buying a whole bunch of crap. That's what we were doing. So, oh man. The sixth thing, I don't have enough fingers, but the sixth thing that we did, which in the budget was the most impactful, was we drastically cut out eating. Oh my God, mind blowing when we looked at our expenses. So what we did is we only ate dinner out once a week. We didn't eat out for lunch or breakfast. That was the beans and rice part for us, but we still did eat out once a week. And again, part of that was a morale thing. Part of that was that my dad wasn't totally on board with the debt-free process. And for me, it was like battles, right? You got to pick your battles. So we were meal planning and eating the rest of the week, kind of skimping. So my dad was eating a lot of lunch meat for lunch. So we still had to have one night a week where we were eating out. So we did. Another part of that is drastically cutting out eating is that I did not realize how much money I was spending at work eating out. It was again phenomenal. I was working 3 to 5 12-hour shifts a week, and I would go 3, 4, 5 times. I'd pick up a soda and a bag of something or this or that, and I was spending a lot of money per shift. So what I did was I put myself on a $10 budget, and what I chose to do is bring sodas and snacks and bring Crystal Light, and then use the water from the filter fountain or whatever. Basically, I just went there for lunch, and I got something from the grill and a drink and a, dessert or whatever. So it's a combination. For me, the debt-free process was a combination of the everyday sacrifices and throwing huge chunks of money at the debt. And I will tell you that you can throw huge chunks of money at the debt. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a registered nurse. You don't have to be making $6,000 a month to do this. So these first, 6 things is what we did at the very beginning. It's what allowed us to throw 79% of my income towards our debt. My dad doesn't work, obviously, so we're a single income family. So once we got on a budget, and what we could start doing is throw boatloads of money towards from each paycheck towards our debt, and then we were able to throw pockets of money. And so these are the 4 times that I was able to throw pockets of money. The number 7 thing that I did, the 22nd of January is when I was able to make the first payment, and that was I spent the money I had. I had a credit card bill of $26,361.37. I had a card bill of $31,371.21, and my card bill was $911.38 a month. That's a whole bunch of stuff thrown at you. But my debt, my baby step 2 is a combination of bills I was overdue on, credit cards I was maxed out on. For whatever reason, I was still saving money because I needed to redo my landscaping, and I needed to redo my master bath because I still need to live up with the Joneses, and I wanted my friends and my neighbors to see how amazing my house was. So I don't know, my priorities were screwed up. My financial priorities were definitely screwed up. And so one of the first things I did was I spent the money I had. They will tell you this. All you need is $1,000 in a savings account, and you spend it all, you throw it all. And I will tell you, I did not throw it at my smallest debt. I threw it at the debt I was most annoyed with. I threw it at my student loan. So I had like $1,600-ish saved for a home renovation. I was saving up for, and I threw that towards my student loan. The second thing I did was I sold stuff. I know I said that last week's video and you're like, oh, rolling your eyes. Everyone says sell stuff. I'm telling you, from the Amazon Prime membership, I had a whole bunch of crap laying around. Now, I sold a coffee table, a couple of end tables, and a TV that I was in a third bedroom that nobody used. Although my dad was really salty that I still sold it, but whatever. I'm like, really? No one ever used that. So I sold that on Craigslist. But I sold a smartwatch that was water damaged, and I sold a tablet that we didn't use. And so I was able to get $820 from selling those 5 things. And I know that maybe some of you don't have electronics, but I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. First of all, it's so therapeutic. You're going through a life process, a lifestyle process, a mindset change. And sometimes clearing out the crap around you really helps. It's therapeutic. It's like a physical manifestation of the debt you're clearing out of your life. I'm telling you, I loved it. The next big thing was about a month later, I got my tax return. Now, I just said I had saved some money to fix up my house, right? But in the beginning, I was like, I'll just put $1,000 on this credit card payment and I'll spend the rest on my home renovation. And I just realized, like, what the hell am I talking about? Like, so I just realized I just had no business spending any more money on this house, especially while I'm going through a debt-free process. It wasn't a need. No one cared about my plans. And so other than the HOA, no one cared about my plans. So I threw my entire tax return towards my credit card. And I'll tell you, was it tempted to go on a vacation? Yeah, I hadn't been on a vacation in a year. And for me, the big thing was a temptation to do the house renovation. I really wanted to renovate my house and make it look all pretty, but I didn't. I sacrificed, and it doesn't seem like a great sacrifice, but for me and where I was at in my life, I just, it was a sacrifice. So I threw my entire tax return towards my debt-free process. That was the second largest, biggest chunk that I was able to throw at my debt-free process. And then in August, I keep forgetting, but in August, I sold my Jeep, which is the 10th thing that I did. And obviously the biggest chunk of money that I threw at my debt-free process was eliminating that. And I talked about it last video, was that if I had sold my Jeep in January, I would have been able to, have in total like an extra $10,000 towards my debt-free process, which would have eliminated it in half again. It's just mind-blowing. Because I did sell my Jeep late, I did have a $2,878.39 personal loan that I did to buy that RAV4 to pay for that. And that also did come with bumper-to-bumper coverage. So I probably could have skipped on that and just paid cash for the RAV4. Anyway, so that's it. From January 22nd making my first payment to November 19th making my last payment on my credit card, I paid $65,479.21. And I also saved like $7,000. I should put them in real. I need to go back and look at the exact number, but I believe it was $7,400. So that I put in my emergency fund at the end of 10 months. So those are actually the things that we did for our debt-free process. They are the only things that we did for our debt-free process. I didn't have any other huge chunks, but I will tell you that half of that list was big chunks, but the other half was day-to-day sacrifice and budgeting stuff, which really for most of us, that's where it's at. And not just for our debt-free journey, but to maintain debt-freeness. So that didn't make sense. That's what I did for baby step 1 through 3. But there's still 4 through 7. And the budget is what keeps you towards that goal of baby step 7. And even beyond, not losing your, you know what I mean? Because how many times do we hear people winning the lottery, winning $300 million, and it ruins their life and they end up poor and homeless? You know what I mean? So you can have $1 million, but if you're not financially savvy, it's like having nothing. So next week is going to be a budget video. I'll be back on Wednesday for Young Living. Again, I hope everyone has a happy and healthy day. And until next time, bye.